What has 2020 taught you? There's never enough time to do all the nothing you want. I feel this, man. I thought that with all the extra time I had I would get so much more done. Turns out I just need to get a lot better at time management. Edit. If anyone is reading this and has suggestions for a book, article, or any other resource for getting more done and wasting less time, please share. I really want to improve this area of my life. Life is always subject to change. Get out there and do the things you want to do, because one day you may not be able to. Your day feel bad, but it can get worse. But this is the worst day of my life, Homer. This is the worst day of your life so far. How ducking stupid humans are. That I'm nowhere as much of a loner as I thought I was. I may not be the most sociable person of the universe, but spending months holed up in my room with basically no eye or human contact got old fast. 90% of the introverts in my social circle feel this way. They still need some social contact now and then. They just want to be able to do something low-key 4x a month with friends, like invite them over for dinner or play a board game. As an introvert, yes, as much as being around humans annoys me, I miss them. That the baseline on what I can handle has leveled up. Absolutely. Even then, I'm still not sure if I'm doing that great of a job of handling it. I recently realized that I'm in fact handling it worse than I thought I was. More alcohol, less exercise, more depression, possibly more escapism. And I'm not sure that knowing other people are having the same issues makes it any better. Always have a plan B. This can have two meanings. Always having the plan B pill is also extremely beneficial. Things and people can be gone in an instant. Everything we hold near and dear can be snatched from us in a blinding flash. I worked with a guy one time whose wife and 2 children were killed in a car crash. I need to see my mate's face to face more than I realize. Couldn't agree more. Considered myself an introvert for the longest time, but in realizing how important human contact really is for me. Same in March I thought. Stay home all day, not see anyone. Haha. Fools. I shall thrive. Cue me today bursting into tears seeing a toddler wave at me in my morning walk. It was the first stranger interaction I've had in months. Not to take travel for granted. I'm trying to learn French or something to keep distracted with, and to feel like I'm doing something which will pay off when traveling in the future, but would give anything for a worry-free week abroad right now. Getting very sick of the inside of my flat. I started learning Japanese to keep my mind off things, and yeah, going somewhere would be great. Facebook is 4chan now. The biggest problem with that is 4chan is comprised of strangers being awful. FB is people I know being awful. That 2016 wasn't as bad as I thought. That I really enjoy not having the pressure to hang out with people looming over me all of the time. Same. Always knew I was an introvert, but didn't realize just how long it would take for me to be completely alone before I started to want human contact. It's 2 months. By the way, my work went remote mid-March, and I live by myself. All my coworkers would go on about staving off loneliness via their Zoom parties with their friends and video workout classes etc. But it wasn't until 2 months of isolation later, mid-May, that I started to feel the need to socialize. Hug your spouse more. Man on man, woman on woman, man on woman, whatever. Hug those who are there for you. Wife's a nurse, I'm a firefighter working through COVID nonsense. The forced quarantine after contact with a positive part has ripped us apart. It's hard to cope when your coping mechanism is behind glass out of reach. Hug your peeps. Edit. Thanks everyone. I never got an award before on the ol' Reddit. This made my day. Thanks for having us in your hearts, party people. Hug your loved ones extra hard for us tonight if you can. That people will genuinely believe bad events will end just because the year is over. It's overwhelming how many times I hear things like, OMG I can't wait for 2021. Everything will be a fresh start, or 2020 can just live like. What do you really expect? All issues reset every January the 1st. WTF. That there are so many horrible people in the world, oblivious to everything around them, and only concerned with themselves. And also that there are so many kind and loving people in the world that are willing to help anyone. Crises show people's true nature. It's a chance to reevaluate our friendships and cultivate relationships with the better people out there. That nothing ducking matters, and that you are responsible for your own happiness. The universe does not give a flin rat's ass about any of us. Adulthood sucks and everyone around you leaves. Oh, and cancer ducking sucks too. Duck pancreatic cancer and duck prostate cancer. That I can be a lot stronger and confident than I give myself credit for. Gotta look for the positives, right? Checks and balances can be ducked by a conglomerate of assholes. Also, Padme was right. Democracy dies with thunderous applause. Democracy dies with thunderous applause. Holy shit. This bore repeating. Open bracket. You know how introverted you are when there is a quarantine and your life barely changed. Never get your hopes up, because 2020 will crush them. Humans have forgotten humanity. 2020 has taught me that it was worse than 2019. Death sucks. Illness sucks. Isolation sucks. Bankruptcy sucks. How selfish and stupid a large number of people I used to think of as friends truly are. Hurts, especially when you've known them for more than a decade. Don't act like a child, although I'm a child. I'm a child too. Chris Hansen has entered the chat. That I shouldn't wait to tell people I love them. Prepare multiple backs up for finance, health, and supplies. The rich get richer, while the poor get poorer. It's already bad enough under normal circumstances, but in global crisis situations this applies even more. Global crises are fantastic for the 1%. It's like a great big fire sale for land, stocks, companies. They get to buy it cheap from people forced into desperation on forfeiting their homes. 401 ks. Small businesses, etc. to keep their family fed. All that stuff still holds its value when the crises end. So their wealth balloons as soon as the rest of humanity does the hard work of fixing whatever broke. Today it's only a few dozen families that would need to go away for everyone on earth to double their wealth. Not advocating anything, just saying. The best years of my life are going to be funny. People on social media are ducked in the head. The more we complain, the more shit 2020 gives us complain about. So I'm just looking for the positives and counting down the days. It showed me who my real friends are, and some stuff about how stupid some people are, even if it is to protect the people who are at risk due to coronavirus. That my life is actually pretty good, and I don't rely as much on social validation as I thought. It's sad and understandable to see how much people are struggling with quarantine etc. And it's sometimes strange to see that I'm having a straight up brilliant time. Maybe I'm lucky, maybe I've arranged everything very well. IDK, but it's been a great year so far. Years. I feel like an outsider or something sometimes, because I keep seeing how people keep saying 2020 is like the worst year ever, and I can say it's not the best and whatnot. But for me, personally, it's been great. I'm a big introvert, so I've been pretty good on my own. And I talk and play with my friends all the time online. No school or anything. Yet. Don't have to get up early, and if you do you don't gotta drive anywhere if you take classes online. Also got to building my first PC and got a second Switch finally after losing my first one. It's been great for me. It can worse. Anything can get worse. The pessimist says. Things couldn't get worse. The optimist says. Oh yes they can. I now have a reason to keep people away from me. Sometimes you have to change the direction of your life and that's okay. to enjoy family and try to not stress the rest. That even people you once thought were reasonable aren't. People you thought were responsible, and at the very least 1% not selfish, are 100% selfish. I've lost respect for a lot of people and it's alienating. That passing of your childhood hero, even when you are mature, can break your heart. That I need to start ducking living life. How many relatives of mine are racist backwards? Yeesh. Having a job is a lot more than just making money. And don't eat random animals or people. Yeah, definitely. Having a job is a lot more than making people too. People lost all their damn brain cells. Also, life is shit. Don't duck your boss. Trust no one. And like 99% of the human race is stupid. You think about how stupid the average person is, and then you realize half the people on earth are stupider than that. There's a lot of stupid people out there. George Carlin. 2020 had reinforced how little I mean to everyone that claims I'm incredibly important to them. Stakes only go up. It can always get more ridiculous. That Twitter is a really bad place to be. Social media is a really bad place to be in general. Whatever you do, don't try to have a debate, because it will quickly spiral down into an argument. It could, in fact, always get worse. A common hardship won't bring people together, like an Independence Day or Watchmen. Rather, it'll drive them to care only about their own interests. Think Cersei in the face of the White Walker threat. Other than the end movies for the sake of being movies, does anyone actually believe that people can unite like that? Eye roll. Selfishness is like the core of any person. To enjoy the small things more often. Don't take the things you have for granted. People are far stupider than I thought, which is both scary and depressing, considering how little I thought of my fellow humans in the first place. I need to manage my friendships way better than I do right now. I learned that former friends of mine who I used to believe were compassionate adults believe that murdering people I agree with politically is justified, because apparently wanting reform equals hating America. That no matter how dangerous something is and how obvious the evidence is, there will be some people who just won't listen. Honestly, we expect adults to listen to a end of the world scenario when they can't even do the simple fact of putting on a mask and staying home. I seriously underestimated how self-absorbed and idiotic Americans are. How to diet properly. I was a complete fatus. That the media can make a difficult situation 1000x worse by stirring up panic and telling a lopsided story. I learned that bats aren't meant to be eaten. You've just never been hungry enough. Having a girlfriend makes you way more happy. A person is smart. People are dumb. Panicky, dangerous animals. Apostrophe. I learned to stop making excuses for other people's bullshit behavior. Also duck the Chinese Communist Party. To just eat the whole damn sleeve of Oreos. Life's too short. The majority of mainstream media, Twitter, Reddit, popular cable news, can control and manipulate the masses way easier than I thought. The world needs to move away from using the American dollar as a reserve currency. That I'm not as much of an introvert as I thought. I rely heavily on social interaction that I was taking for granted before the quarantine. Take care of your body and mind. Take your informations from as many sources as possible. How corrupt our entire government is. I'm American, but this applies to many other nations. The level of stupid Karens are truly able to commit, despite working in retail before this point. Duck you, Karen. How am I supposed to answer how your friend is supposed to try clothing on while all fitting rooms are shut down? Also, all anti-maskers that are adults are Karens and all light Karens. Also, how some messed up stuff makes for wonderful opportunists in the stock market. How the internet truly is. I made all my social media accounts this year thinking it would be a fun ride, but it's just been 7 months, and I regret getting a Reddit account. So many retards. In my normal life, I have less human contact than people who claim to be quarantining harder than everyone else. And this is the least isolated period of my life. That people you thought were intelligent have their moments of idiocy, even if small. And the people who you thought were idiots can have their moments of intelligence too. I would know. I'm an idiot myself. 2020 has taught me to see things more clearly. That literally anything can happen. Freaking crazy year. SMH. You can't look too far into the future, otherwise you'll be disappointed in it never happening. I was gonna ask a girl to prom, and then this Haluba year flew by, and I never got to ask her. That life is tragic, cruel, and absurd, to the point where it can completely break you, but also that, no matter how bad it all gets, there is genuine peace and comfort in real platonic love, and my friends are the light of my life. We have each other's backs and we adore each other. So in a way, despite having lost nearly everything, I'm incredibly lucky. I'm never really alone. I'm afraid I haven't learned anything. I see the world collapsing around me, yet me and everyone in my life is healthy and either getting new jobs or promotions at current jobs. I'm a recent graduate, and I don't understand what I did to deserve this, and I'm more confused than ever. That spending 24/7 with a romantic partner isn't a good idea, so many quarantine breakups, and I just honestly wonder if my ex was the right woman at the wrong time. People don't know what socialism really means. That the United States is really not prepared for real shit to happen. Most of the world is not. We are held together by ducking threads of a stretched out cloth ready to tear. For myself, I discovered my wife does not love me after 12 years. And boy, this shit hurts. People in Europe and in the USA are just as dumb as the rest of us. They just used to pretend that they knew better. That I'm actually emotionally disconnected from everything. That most of the jobs that said they would help or take care of me realistically won't. And that I have a better chance starting my own business than working for some other guy. That staying inside is a lot better than being in public. There are so many more anti-vax people in the world than I originally thought. American politics is way more divisive than I originally thought. How inconsiderate other people are. I work in a customer service job and witness this daily. Especially now with the pandemic, it's even worse. It's really disheartening. That most conservatives are fascists and genuinely hate and want black people dead. The general cruelty and unfairness of life. It is like Captain Pickard said, it is possible to commit no errors and still lose. That is not weakness, that is life. JFK said it so well. Life is not fair. The sooner people get that idea fixed in their heads, the easier life becomes. To not take physical school for granted. I very much dislike online school, but that's probably just a me thing. That I'm probably not going to be as bothered by the world ending as I thought. Just drive yourself and hope the world gets better soon. Also, if you're the sacrifice who gets out of the house to the store, grab all the ramen. Doesn't matter if you have 10 packets, 20 or 30, grab them all. If anyone's going to live this pandemic, it's going to be me. That racism still exists in America in more ways than one. That leftist extremists of today are pretty much like the ones who followed Lenin and Stalin. That it's going to be like before and after the event that changed the world, and how to wash my hands properly. That almost anything will be used as an excuse for why there are no jobs. That my family will be fine on a confined spaceship traveling to Mars or somewhere else distant. The lockdown has had little effect on us. Don't ever say that it can't get any worse. Clearly the hits can and will keep on coming. That my job doesn't care about me and credit card companies will call and threaten you with legal action if you don't pay your card on time, even if you are current and have no bill due yet. I'm a lot more extroverted than I thought I was. 3 things to be grateful for: everything you have. Don't procrastinate anything you can't stop thinking about. Family is first. Yes, I need the money, and yes, I'm broke AF right now after months of unemployment. But goddamn, after an initial depressed state because I was lost, I'm starting to feel truly alive and not like a drone anymore. I'm definitely going to not allow my next job to shackle me down. Crazy to think it took a massive world crisis for me to appreciate life again. No matter how used to disappointment you are, you can be disappointed further. Life is too short to waste time on things you don't care for. To pray that there's intelligent life somewhere up in space, because there's bugger all down here on Earth. When faced with a decision between mild boredom or risking the literal death of a stranger, the public as a whole will pick the latter. How important saving money is. We had a 6-month emergency fund saved up, and the peace of mind was priceless. We've made sure we stay out of debt as well. Limit the amount of time I spend on Reddit, as it reduces my already shaky faith in humanity. When things can't get any worse, they do. That procrastination usually comes from not knowing how to do something. The potential for humans to be pieces of shit is unlimited. Emotionally distant parents create emotionally distant children. That busy is a choice, and quiet, alone time, doing things you love with your family is amazing. The world is full of very ignorant and stupid people. I learned that my emergency funds were not anywhere close to how much I should had. 2 months of income at a bare minimum. I also learned how important a work-life balance is. I was never out of work, but those hours gained from not commuting have been treasured, and not something I want to give away to the same extent. Also, hugging and having friends occupy your space really is good for your soul. Zoom is okay, but nothing like in person. Our health, our country, our ideals can all be turned on their head in a very short time. That unchecked power brings out the worst and does more damage than almost anything. Don't blow it. Keep it simple. Save your money. How little value corporate management is. How many people close to you are ignorant to everything else but themselves. When you think things can't go worst, they really can. Sometimes borderline becomes normality. How much doctors suffocate with those masks. The government is a fundamentally malicious entity and must be overthrown. The best plans for the future always account for the unexpected, so that when the unexpected comes you're ready unless it's a pandemic. The person who will take the best care of me is me. People will come to you, and you will have a social life without bending over backwards to try to make friends. And also that some people will only live their own version of the truth, even if reality it's biting them in the butt. The world is ducked, man. That I love isolation. It's so good for reducing my anxiety. I would like it if everything was virtual for the rest of my life. People are dumb and my lifestyle seems to be named quarantine. If keeping someone's secret makes you look like a dumbass, it's not a secret worth keeping. That Karens have no limit to their stupidity. Next time someone starts to say, "Could things get any worse?" you shoot him before he finishes that sentence. Have money put back, especially for timing the market. You could have bought so many stocks in March at a discount. People like to masturbate while working remote. I'm not doing it for quirkiness points. I just really am a loner. That I want to be lazy cause I'll never have so much free time, but I want to be productive too. I have no idea what to ducking do. Sitting in quarantine like this can reveal many of humanity's faults, when we actually have a moment to take a look around. A lot of my friends have proven that they aren't my friends at all. 2020 taught me to stand up for myself. Set boundaries and that you can't be friends with the person who raped you. People hate doing what they are told to do, even if it's the law. People are dicks. However, this is just me working in retail. I'm far more of an introvert than I realized. Not leaving my house for 2 months straight was amazing. Companies truly don't give a duck about you, consumer and employee alike. How to cook for myself, and that life really is unpredictable and out of our control, so to be humble about it. That I don't give a duck anymore. Humanity as a species is stupid beyond comprehension. There is nothing I can do to keep humanity from going against its best interest in every imaginable way, and I'm done sacrificing my mental health trying to change minds and get people to wake up. Out of sight, out of mind is a lot more real than I ever thought. That a healthy life is one with stuff going on in it. Having too much time with nothing happening makes you think too much about yourself and your past. I don't need to save up for a car. I need to save up for a rainy day fund. Don't trust girls. They could be gay at any moment. That there are a lot more idiots in the world than I thought. That nothing or no one is safe. It's better to be with your family than being alone during the lockdown. A lot of people are more lonely than I thought. We all deserve companionship. That the human race has some really stupid people in it. China will be the biggest threat to global peace and freedom over the coming decades. I was stupid to think I would have wanted to stay home that long. How absolutely horrible humanity is. How you can't trust people with literally anything. And how much everyone is only out for themselves. And that they're more than prepared to let you die for a roll of toilet paper. Trump should have nuked the world when he had the chance. That being an introverted awesome. Can't get too comfortable and frugality is a must now. The general public does not understand how science works. Don't ever say how could it possibly get worse, because let me tell you it can always get worse. That the "this is fine" meme is more realistic than I thought. There is no God. There is no right. There is no wrong. There is no up. There is no down. There is only forward. This is the first year where I didn't make wishes. I will make sure that doesn't happen again. George Carlin was right about everything. Sometimes no news is good news. IQ should not be based on a standard normal distribution. We need higher standards. Without work and school I can spend so much more time playing video games. To be more grateful and be more mindful of whom you lost. You can get used to all sorts of things that you would never imagined. You can plan and plan for everything to be perfect, but some things are beyond our control. No matter how big or small, you just have to roll with the times. There are more unstable people than I originally thought. The vast majority no longer struggle to survive, which has made us soft. People you thought were smart or worthy of respect are just as capable of wearing a tin hat if the opportunity presents itself. That my back hurts and will probably never stop hurting. That most people are retarded and lack critical thinking. If I want/need something done, I'm going to have to do it myself. I've relied on so many people who never came through this year, the US government included. Still waiting on that first stimulus check. Never underestimate the ability of people to act against their own best interest, regardless of how much evidence is at their fingertips. People's most base emotion is selfishness. Peaceful protesting does nothing, but rioting and striking does. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.